is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Hello, Internet. What's going on, everybody? Woo! Little bit of a quiet house here tonight, but I got one Eric Billingsley with us. What's going on, Eric?
Hello. I'm
Hi.
just dancing in my head to the excellent music from that video you just showed.
Which one? The original the game, the music in the game.
Yeah, the music in the game.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Does anybody in chat know what that game was? Figure it out. We also have Digital James. Slightly less computerized today. Looking a little bit more Max TV. Not Max TV. Max Headroom. That's the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I can hold on. I'm trying to move something. I was expecting you to cut right to me, but don't worry, I'll be good in a sec.
You also yes, compute about as quickly as Max Headroom.
I do. Yeah, sorry, I need a better baud modem than 12 or whatever I've got going here from 1992 or whatever Max Headroom was from. No, I'm doing great. We've got some great guests tonight. No, I'm really excited to talk to them. I mean, it was already exciting to talk to our first guest, even before the broadcast.
Hell yeah.
We kind of blew a lot of stuff that's not even taped, that it's now a special experience that only I, Derek, and Eric share, and Levi. But
we'll have to ask the same questions and just pretend to be as amazed with everything that we hear.
We'll just do exactly what we did in exactly the same manner. I think we can remember.
Folks, thanks for joining us. This is our January 2022 show and what do we call this thing? Dirty Rectangles Online, not show and chills. Those are our physical ones. We'll get back to those at some point in time. But until then, we are here in the physical space doing our thing and hanging out.
In multiple physical spaces.
Yeah, all over the world. We're doing it. Before we get going, though, I think we have some announcements. Anybody want to take this announcement? Who wants to take this? Should I take this announcement?
I think you should take the Global Game Jam.
Global Game Jam's happening. You guys hear about that one? Did you guys hear about Global Game Jam? It's happening tomorrow.
About it now.
It's happening tomorrow. You can check it out if you want. We are not running an event this year, not because of any weird sponsorship shenanigans through the Global Game Jam. We just, we're busy and we're tired. However, some of those sponsorship shenanigans are pretty fucked up, even though anyways, they took it back, right? It's all good. It's all good. Global Game Jam. You know what else is happening? Other game jams all the time throughout the year. So pay attention for the next one. When's the next Ludum? Does anybody know? Someone look that up. Throw that out in the chat. I don't think we had any other announcements. If you have an announcement that you would like to share with us on the show, feel free to tweet it at us or toss it out in the chat right now. It's a really good time.
Oh, there is one other one. Tunic is being released.
Oh yeah,
it's been released officially.
Let's hear more about that.
I don't know much more about the release though. I should have looked up stuff.
It's coming out on March 16th. I've been working on Tunic for the last 2 years. Yes, and Jonah, also Dirty Rectangles organizer, has been working on that too. So that's
yeah.
Very exciting. So
good work on you.
You should all play it.
Yeah. What's your post Tunic plans?
Post Tunic plans, I don't know. Spring Fall is on Android.
Ooh.
And then
you heard it here.
Go to sleep.
And then finally sleep. Eric hasn't slept since 2016.
No, I'm doing okay. I am very greasy tonight because we haven't had hot water at the apartment since Saturday, so that's how I'm going. But
that's rough.
Yeah,
particularly when it's super snowy.
A cold shower is nice every once in a while, but not when it's not.
Yeah, not right now. Yeah,
folks, should we get on to this super rad show that we got going on? We got 2 amazing presenters. You know what that means? That means we can take our goddamn time and enjoy ourselves and ask all the questions that we want and not worry about my laptops exploding, even though they might. You never know. I know some of you are cheering
that's still
on.
A pressing worry, actually.
There's got to be some people here that are just showing up to see what the fuck is going to happen to my laptop tonight, and we'll see. But I expect good things. Shall we get on with this show?
Please.
Okay, we'll be right back in just a minute with our first guest. Don't go anywhere. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our very first presenter of the evening, Levi Ramirez. What's going on, Levi?
Hello. How's
Hello.
everyone doing tonight? Hello.
Excellent.
Hello.
Welcome to the
I
show.
love my little icon in the corner compared to all these big busts of everyone. My little icon in the corner. That's awesome.
You know, it makes you stick out, right? Everyone knows where to look.
Yeah. Big bright yellow. That's awesome.
Welcome. Yeah. So we asked you to come and talk about this game that you're working on, which James has. Ooh, look at that, James.
Wow.
Has some little GIF action happening here.
Some awesome little GIF actions going on down there. Yeah.
What are you working on?
I am working on a not huge, but an awesome little game called Shoot Trip Die. It is a arcadey roguelike inspired by little bullet hell games from like arcades. It's got like ZX Spectrum-esque graphics, and yeah, it's pretty wild and pretty awesome. I've been working on it for almost a year now, I believe. Coming up on a year soon.
Well, we're just sort of watching this again here. So you had mentioned you're like deep in the Newgrounds scene, right?
Yes.
This is your place.
So I'll kind of explain a short summary of the history of my game development. I've been a game developer for about 6 years. I started in middle school as just like a hobby thing, and I still do it mostly as a hobby. I just was making games for myself. And then around 2017, I found Newgrounds and I made a Newgrounds account. And till like 2020, 2019, I wasn't really active in the community, and Newgrounds itself was kind of not really as popular as it once was in its heyday in the early 2000s. I kind of kept to myself. I wasn't really known in the scene. And then 2020, I collaborated with some people. I started putting myself out there more. And then the whole thing with Friday Night Funkin', you all probably know what that is, silly little flash game.
Mhm.
That blew up the site. And then since I was working on games and such, I kind of got pulled into this like new kind of wave of developers, and it's awesome being part of the community. So with that, I kind of got this newfound confidence to release a game or work on a game for Steam, or work on a game to release for Steam. And the demo's coming out the 23rd for Newgrounds Pixel Day. Newgrounds Pixel Day is an awesome event that we hold on Newgrounds every January 23rd, I believe. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. But every January 23rd, we have a event day called Pixel Day, and everyone makes like pixelated stuff, like music and art and games. There's gonna be crazy games this year. There's so many cool games that my friends have been working on. Super cool stuff, and the STD demo is coming out for Newgrounds Pixel Day, only on Newgrounds, and then probably a couple weeks later I'll release it on itch.io. And yeah, that's my shtick. That's my thing. It's my awesome thing to say.
Cool.
Just looking at some pictures of your zine right now.
Oh yeah, I'm
How did that
also
go?
that is something that I'm kind of just doing for fun. It's a kind of a thing I want to produce locally. I live in a college town, so there's a lot of like small shops that were like interested in like me doing artwork and stuff. So I'm just like drawing all 50 items in the game and making into a zine, and I'm gonna give them to like local shops and stuff. And it fits the aesthetic because this game kind of is going for like that kind of punk rock like grunge esque themes in the game and such. So I thought a zine would be kind of cool to tie that in.
Yeah.
Well,
You go back to the video of the game itself. Like, walk us through like what are we doing in this game? What is that?
So the main like the basic plot synopsis of this game is that you're this kid or this dude, I guess he's like a 20-year-old named Chester Bodine, and he's a piece of shit. He left his pizza job, and he gave his boss Melvin, he's a demon. He gave him his 2 weeks notice, and he said, "You're an asshole. I hate you." And so Melvin comes to his house and picks him up and throws him in a wormhole, and he just goes through crazy dimensions of like these trippy psychedelic worlds, and he shoots enemies and monsters and weird things with his finger guns, and he collects all these crazy wacky items, and it's crazy wacky and insane. But yeah,
That's cool. I'm
basic.
a big fan of that visual there for a hot second when I believe that's probably the dude falling down the wormhole.
Yeah. So funny. That's
Really cool.
that's part of the intro cutscene.
Cool.
So this game, when I first started it, this game has a huge, not like a long history, but like it went through a lot of changes. And one of the first things when I first started this game, I wanted to do a mixed media game. You don't really see that very often, and I love that aesthetic in like any piece of work is mixed media.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't really have any experience outside of like pixel art, so it was really hard to do that. And I was like, well, I want to incorporate that like weird visuals and stuff. So I kind of went with that. I don't know what the word is for it, but like what are those like point and click adventure games? Like you know what I'm talking about with like those like pixelated like weird things. I want to do a cutscene like that. So I got me and a couple of my college buddies to like help me shoot that cutscene, and we did it at my friend's apartment. And you know, so all those pictures are me dressed up as the main character, and we just we shrunk them down and pixelated them, and I just threw them in as the intro cutscene, and that
That's awesome.
explains yeah. So this game has been a labor of love from a lot of different people. I'm the head developer. I'm the lead developer. I'm the lead artist. I basically do all of the heavy lifting. But there's so many interesting and awesome and really talented people working on this game. So many awesome musicians from Newgrounds. Everybody who's working on this game is from Newgrounds, and it's super awesome to have all these people on. It's really awesome.
So it's really like a community project.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's cool. I've never was part of the Newgrounds like community, right? Like I would go there and play games or whatever. But it's cool
Yeah.
to hear about that side of the community. Like I 10, 20, 20, I don't know about 20, but 10, 15 years ago, I'd be on like TigSource or something like that. And you get that same sort of feel of like, oh, this is like a community of people working together, to make
Oh
things
yeah.
that, and it's cool to hear that something like that is still going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
definitely. Newgrounds is definitely community heavy. Like I said earlier, when I first got onto Newgrounds in like 2016, 2017, I was not popular like at all. Like most of my game, like I mean, on top of the fact the website wasn't as visited as it is now. Sorry, I'm talking over myself. Um, I didn't really work with anybody. I kind of kept to myself. It was just kind of a dumping grounds for me. Um, but as I've gotten more involved in the community, I've definitely seen more people come on and want to be talk to me and be interested in what I'm working on. So uh, with it, like every other game website, like Itch.io and GameJolt, it's kind of a popularity contest almost. But Newgrounds is like a place where it truly is like if you're working on something cool, people will notice. Like Tom Falk, the guy who runs the website, he is an amazing person. Like he is super nice and he's super approachable. If you have any questions or any concerns, or if you just want people to see what you're working on, you can talk to him directly and he will respond to you. And he is, he doesn't push anyone away. He's open to, being part of the community. And I think that's really important. Uh, Having that kind of community, tight knit community type deal. So yeah.
Yeah,
You
no, I was very interested to hear that because I think almost anybody that is sort of in our vague sort of age group. I'm terrible at math, so I won't try to guess at the years, but we were all familiar with Newgrounds. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I think like Derek, I had a very similar path in that I kind of fell into the TIG source crowd, which was just sort of like a message board of people saying like, we're
Hmm.
trying to make indie games,
Yeah.
um, like stuff like Cave Story came out and Super Meat Boy, and it got us
Hmm.
interested in the idea. And I mean, obviously, you can go back as far as you want to find other indie developers that are older than those. I mean, there were indie developers all the way
Oh
back
yeah.
in the 1980s for crying out
The
loud. But
prehistoric age.
yeah,
Yeah.
but rediscovering that and trying to make them. But it's just very interesting to me that you did it just right on the Newgrounds website because it's like, why the hell not? Like, why not just have the whole website be literally about the games that you're making? You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
here's the site, it serves the games, and then also the people making them are here, and the
Hmm.
community forms here around the actual
Yeah.
games. Like, that makes sense
Yeah.
to me. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
And it's just, I mean, truthfully, it's just really easy. Like anyone can do it. Like I said, like before we were talking, I think we're in a day and age now where literally anyone can make a game. And the good and bad of that, you can say what you will about that, but I think it's awesome that literally anyone can just make a game in their bedroom. And it's not even like, even back in the early 2000s, you kind of had to do that steep learning curve of learning how to code and like learning all the crazy stuff. I see myself more as an artist than I do a game developer, truthfully. So I can make games really easily. I couldn't write any line of code and make it work for anything, but with things like Construct and RPG Maker and Game Maker, people can just make games really quickly, and it's awesome to see that because there are talented people who just need the right tools to get that out of their system, I guess.
it was so
I see we've
you
got
had
some.
mentioned you built all this in Construct, and that's sort of your go-to thing.
It is.
So what's like
Const-
what yeah, why what got you into Construct, and why that, and is interested in like maybe some, I don't know, weird shit that you had to like figure out because of it or whatever?
so I started when I first started making games in like middle school. I started out with RPG Maker, and I was just using the free trial. Um, and I was like, man, it's cool making these like dumb little RPGs because I would just make an RPG that's like the same game over and over again, and I would just make all the characters swear and like do funny dumb things, add my own art into it. But I was like, man, I want to like make my own thing. Like I don't want to just make an RPG over and over again. So I was looking around for things, and Unity seemed too hard because I'm kind of dumb. I'm dumber than a box of rocks. But I was like, what is something that I could make a game with where I literally need like no experience coding? Like I can just throw sprites in and I can like make it do this. And like Construct was just that. And like during the beginning, it was basically just me like doing all like the preloaded like shit and then just throwing it on things and being like, wow, it's a game I made. I'm so awesome. And then as I got older and I, started working more with it, I learned that you can actually do a lot with it. So, and the funny story is this Construct 2 is one of the last game engines that doesn't use like subscription based models.
Mm.
So I had to buy. I remember I saved up to buy my license for my Construct 2. Like I would just I remember I used to like ref when I was like in 8th grade, I used to ref like flag football games and I would like I'd make like $20 for a game. And then I went to a 4th of July party and I just asked a bunch of drunk family members for money and I was able to buy my license.
It's a good story.
Yeah, it's an awesome story. That's how I started my game development career. Drunk people.
Yeah, I think there's really something to be said about tools that just let you kind of, at least when you're starting out, just like drag stuff onto the screen and then it instantly does something. Like I started learning with Click and Play and like the Games Factory, and it's the same kind of thing. There's all these like clip art and pre-made stuff that you can just it just goes, and they're like, yes, I made a thing.
Yeah.
And then you can sort of dig deeper as you get more experience.
I think if you're like kind of a visual-esque person, which I would argue most people into video games are at least to a degree visually a visual person when it comes to a lot of things. When you want to learn and you want to pick up something new, what you need is something that's like the lowest amount of time to feedback on screen, basically, right? Like how long does it take from you spinning up a project, starting a new tutorial, to doing something on the screen that you can actually mess with, right? And like the lower that amount of time, sometimes it's like a minute or like 30 seconds. Then you're like, oh shit, this is cool. I'm now hooked. I'm going to try something new. But if it's like 10 minutes until you can get a cube on the screen that you can get it to move around, or half an hour or whatever, like whatever Unity is now, like Unity, anyways, I'm so sick of those modern tools. I tweeted about this the other day because like they've all bloated out so much that there's no good starter tool anymore for people who have never touched games before, right? Like I feel like that doesn't maybe it's Construct, like I haven't messed around with it, but I feel like we're lacking a tool right now that we could give to like Levi was saying, like high schoolers. It'd be like, go make a game, go do this, because I don't think Unity's that anymore.
Well, even just like when I look at Unity, it just screams to me of this is something a programmer made to help other people make games. And so it comes from this understanding of a programmer standpoint, you know what I mean? So you have to get in here, you have to write scripts, and then like, oh, you know, the art team at Unity or whatever, they designed more of like the editor, so that's what they're used to. So it looks like Photoshop or something when you're like at the editor screen, like this giant, you know, multi-windowed monstrosity with like a million widgets around the outside, and there's like, you know, 80,000 options everywhere, and things are always breaking all the time and getting out of sync. Like, it's not really very conducive to people that are new to making games. It's just kind of like what people who were already making games were used to, and so then they made it into one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like I was gonna say, with you saying there's no like starting point anymore. There's a lot of game engines like you know, Construct 3 is subscription based and Game Maker is subscription based now. That's gonna kill hobbyist development, I think. Like it's not like if you're not gonna get into game development for the sake of making a profit, then there's no point in like doing that, because if that those things add up, and like it may not seem like it is, but it does really. I feel like it hurts hobbyists, and I see myself mostly as a hobbyist. I'm making a game for Steam because I want to. I paid out of wallet for this. I don't expect that much of a profit. I'm more interested in making a good, fun game more than a profit. But sadly, you know, as games become more serious and more of a business, then that kind of just doing it for fun aspect kind of falls to the wayside, and that's really sad to me.
Yeah, I feel like I come from the same position. Like, I just want to do it as a hobby if I could, you know? And it's like, it's one of those things where people will go, well, if everyone was just a hobbyist developer, you know, it would just be a bunch of people sitting in their silos making their own thing by themselves. But I think that your experience through Newgrounds shows that, you know, a community can come together to form a team to make a game more organically that way as well. It's not an impossibility, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of, you know, putting yourself out there and being a little bit social and taking, like, you know, the tiny risk of depending on another person, you know what I mean? But it's not this insurmountable, like, obstacle. Any other questions?
There was a let's see if anyone has any questions for Levi here. Also, toss them in the chat. Let us know. You're getting lots of
Levi.
love here. There's lots of people. Let's see here. Levi fan club call out here from Spider Monkey. Let's see.
Go through the. Go
You're
through
working
the
with
questions.
Connor Grail to do some music. Levi. Oh, did we lose him? Remember he said his internet was going to be.
We might have lost him. Yeah, he's streaming from a college dorm right now, where apparently his internet is very spotty.
See. He said.
Can you not hear me?
Oh,
Yeah, we can hear you
There
now.
we go.
Here you
Okay.
Yeah, you're back.
I was like, I tried to like interject with something, and you guys ignored me, and I was like, I don't know what's happening.
Oh, okay.
We did not hear you.
I'm sorry about that, but what? Yeah, no, I can hear you. Yes, Connor Grail is doing music for STD. He's doing, or Connor Grail is Terravex, Milky Possum, and Conundrum.
Hmm.
4 Newgrounds people. Conundrum is really low, not low, but he's really new to the music scene, and he did a lot of cool tracks for the game. I'm really excited for him to like. I hope this is a breaking point for him at least. This is his platform to get big in some degree. He does really awesome music. He's a good friend of mine.
So did you just like put out a forum post and be like, I need new musicians, come talk to me, or did you pinpoint these people directly? Like, how does the collaboration work? I suppose when you
all of the people that work on STD are mostly just my friends from
Okay.
Newgrounds.
Yeah.
Connor Grail, me and him worked on a game called Omelo's Trek for a Newgrounds game jam.
Mhm.
Me and Conundrum, we were just friends. Like we just met each other. Like he was like really new to the scene when I met him. Like he just made a Newgrounds account, and he would just make drawings of like my characters, and we just hung out. And he's a really awesome guy. Terravex, I worked on 2 games with him. My game my game 7, and then another game called Rat Game. And then Milky Possum, there was some complications with another musician, and I needed some temporary music for STD for the demo. And I was just like, hey, and I had a friend of mine, Stepford, who's also a Newgrounds person. They were working on a game with Milky Possum. And from Stepford, basically Stepford said, hey, you can use the music from my game that Milky Possum made for temporary tracks. And so from there, I was like, well, if her music's already going to be in the game, I might as well ask her to do music. And then I was just like, you want to do music? And she was like, sure. And there you go. There was that. And then she made a track. And it's just easy as that. Like, these people aren't like, I didn't make a forum post. I wasn't like, yo, join my team. You'll make millions of dollars. I was just like, these are my friends and we're going to make a game.
That's awesome. That's like it's the dream, right?
It's the dream.
Making games with your friends.
Well,
man.
I literally told them, I was like, hey, I'm gonna sell this game, but I don't know how much money you're gonna make. I don't know how much it's gonna make. It's a lot of them. I actually have a funny story. I'm really stressed out about how I'm gonna pay these people because I am the sole proprietor on Steam since I'm the main developer, and I just put the Steam page up, so I get all the money. It goes through me. But I want to pay my musicians. I don't want to be an asshole. And I was like racking my brain for like days and days. I was like, how do I want to do the revenue split? So one day I was just like, I need to stop thinking about it and just ask. I'm gonna ask Connor what he thinks, because Connor seems reasonable, a reasonable man. So I like wrote this whole like list of things like, hey, this is my plan. Here's my other plans. What do you think? And his only response is, I'm getting paid. Like, that's all he said. And I was like, well, yeah, of course you're getting paid, man. Like, what the hell? I'm not gonna make you just do this. And he's like, well, I just want to do it for fun. I didn't think I was gonna get paid. So
Connor.
Yeah, I remember
Take some money, Connor. Eat some food.
The film director, Sam Raimi, who you may be familiar with from the Evil Dead movies. Now he's a big time director, and the studios just shower him with a giant truck full of money. But he got to start making movies independently. So the same way that an independent developer makes games independently, he didn't, work as like a cinematographer first or a writer first and then an actor and then get into it. He just literally was like, I'm just going to direct a movie, even though I've never done it before, and I'm just going to keep doing it until one of them gets released. So the same thing we do with games, right? And he was giving an interview on how they actually made Evil Dead. What they did was they went around to groups of dentists that lived in his area because they had a lot of money, and then they made a trailer for the movie and told them what it was going to be about, and then they got them to invest in it, and that was how they made the first Evil Dead. But the reason I bring it up is because one of the things he says in that interview is, my advice to everybody doing something like this, the first thing you should do is put your business hat on just for 1 second and just do this. And that is write down what you owe everybody for working on the thing that you're doing, and come up with how much is everybody getting paid from this thing that we're doing together, and like who actually deserves it, and like how much. Because otherwise you release the movie and the money all goes to you, and it arrives at your doorstep, I assume, in a big sack.
Big burlap sack.
And then the next knock on your door is all the people that worked on it or that funded it with their hands out going, oh, I suppose you have my share now.
Yeah, exactly. And I even made that clear from the beginning. So the musicians are doing like actual real work on this game, and I'm doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Like, I do everything basically. And they understand that. Like, a lot of people understand that. But during the beginning, there's also a thing with this game, is that since there's not very many bosses in the game, there's different boss portraits for everyone, and they're all Newgrounds artists. And I was like, hey, if you want to do this, you can. And I was just asking my friends, like, hey, would you want to do a portrait for this? And I told them from the get-go, I was like, hey, your contribution to this is really small. Like, this is just, if you want to do this, I'm not holding you to gunpoint to do this. If you want to do this and have your name in this, you can, but you're not going to get paid, because I can't pay all these people. And for such small contributions, I don't think it's worth it compared to what I'm doing with the musician. And a lot of people were like, fuck you, man. That's, I deserve my money. But there's a lot of other people who are like, I totally agree with that sentiment. You're doing a lot of heavy lifting. You're doing a lot of the work. I think you and the musicians deserve more the money than people just, doing a drawing for a couple minutes. But it's also, not to sound like an asshole, but like that is, I'm very appreciative of the people who did it, and I appreciate that they wanted to do that. But it's kind of that weird balance thing, like, if they really deserve it or not. But and that's kind of something that weighs on my conscience too, like if that's ethical or not.
It's a tricky thing. It's a hard thing to know before you make a mistake like this. Exactly. Like, this has sort of shown you that that's something you have to keep in mind for next time.
Exactly.
There was a question in the chat before it scrolls off the screen here. I'd love to get to before we forget. Antibiotic Gel asks, how drastic has the game changed since the initial ideas so far?
Pretty intensively. Not gameplay wise, but definitely like theme and story wise. So when this game was first getting developed, and when this game was first starting, I was working at a pizza place, and I was just talking to me and my co-workers about it. And I was like, they knew that I made games, and I was like, I should make a game that's really silly, and like I should just make a really dumb game. And so that's what STD started out as. But as I kept like working, and like during that summer when I worked at the pizza place, I was going through some mental stuff, and I was kind of like reevaluating my life, and like college was kind of weighing on me, and if I wanted to be in it. And that's kind of where there's a lot of themes of like addiction and like mental distraughtness. I don't really know how to explain it, but in STD that is kind of shown. So if anything, STD has changed drastically thematically and theme wise, or it's gone less from being a silly shoot 'em up game where you shoot things like I mean, that's still there, but I want to focus and lean it more towards like a story element where it's kind of I want to talk about like what I've gone through with my life. And to to be completely honest, Chester Bodine is kind of the main character, is kind of like a self-insert for me. The reason that he's a shithead and like he's this piece of shit is because that's how I felt when I first started making this. And it'll definitely become more apparent when the game comes out, like what I'm trying to talk about. But that's like the most drastic change, is the story and themes of the game.
That's cool. You found you found, I don't know, the voice of the game, right? Like it moved from just being a thing to something that you wanted to say.
It was weird how well it fit into it. Like, everything started out as like just whatever, but it like when I started thinking about it more, I was like, this makes sense like thematically, and like this it was weird how it connected, like how well it transitioned from that like silly game to that more like serious story based thing. So, you know,
What are we looking at here?
this is an amazing little game that my friend Stepford made for me for my birthday. It's an NFT generator of my face, and it's awesome. It's a fake, it's Levcoin, I think. This was made in a day. This was made in a single day, and I think that's with a bunch of Newgrounds artists. It's awesome.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Are there any other questions in the chat that I would like to? Can look at them. Anyone have any questions?
Let's see here. Was the acronym intentional or coincidental?
It was intentional, 100%. So interestingly, this game's name changed a lot. It started out as Sleazy Teeth Descent, and then it changed to Sleazy Teeth Romp because I thought that flowed better. But I was like, man, I want that STD acronym to stay. And me and my friends were like thinking of names, and I think we came out with some other like okay names. But Shoot Trip Die, I literally was laying in bed, and I it was like a movie. I like stood up in bed and I was like, Shoot Trip Die. Like I just said it out loud. I was like, that's the perfect name. Like it just fell from the heavens into my brain.
It's very descriptive of what I've seen so far, right?
Yeah, it's exactly it's everything you need to see. It's everything it's nothing more, nothing less.
It's a great name, and I'm very surprised that the acronym came before the name. I don't think that's super common.
We're just like taking a trip through Levi's old games here.
I'm just looking through some stuff. I figure people might want to look at something more entertaining than my.
What's your so how do people find you on Newgrounds? Oh, do we lose him again? Levi.
I think he's just. Hold on.
Showing some old games, and he got scared.
He's just Levi Ramirez on Newgrounds, which is
Newgrounds.
Like no underscore.
Let's see if he comes back here. What else is on there? What else is on there? What else could we bring up onto the interwebs? Happy birthday thing? What's that first one? Gabby 2.
Gabby 2.
Hello.
Hello, hi.
Hello. We can hear you.
Can you hear me again? Sorry. So the weird thing is I must keep cutting out, but I can still watch. Like everything's going fine on my end. So
weird. Just Discord being Discord.
Yeah, you asked how people found me. I think my big break game was probably like a smaller hit was my first game. Like my first real game was Gappy, which is you're playing the sequel to it right now. But then one of the biggest games that one of the two big games that got me popular was my game 7 and my game Rat Game, which came out last year, I believe, right? 2021? Like crazy?
That was
I don't
last
remember
year.
when my game. Yeah.
I'm just gonna stream so you can get the music, Derek.
Oh sure. Fancy.
But yeah, this was one of the last games I worked on by myself was Gappy 2. I did all the music, I did everything, and it's okay. I'm not good with music, but
nice.
I'm good with a couple.
Here we go.
But yeah, that's where I started off at. Oh man. But yeah, this is my silly little game that I made.
Nice.
So the conceit of this game is that you press the space key, and then the guy starts moving, and then you don't have any control over him anymore except for jumping.
Yeah, it's like a little auto. This is just a little dumb little game. Real simple, such a nothing game, but people like it, I guess. People like this green cube man.
Gotta land on it.
Exactly.
I figured it out, Derek. All right. Backseat gaming featuring at Dirty Rectangles, you scoundrel.
It's good.
This is horrifying to watch. This is awesome. This is like found footage. I'm scared.
This is maybe the worst Let's Play I've ever seen in this game.
I know. I'm shaking and screaming right now, watching you play this. I love Green Cube Man so much. My idol, I look up to Gappy's face.
It's finally hard now.
Yeah, this I don't know who made this game. I think the person who made this game is like an actual psychopath. I think they're a convicted felon. I don't know. Crazy. No good. Yeah, if anyone has any other questions about STD or whatever I've been just anything in general, feel free to ask. I'd love to answer burning questions.
Yeah, so I guess you were saying, so this is the release is coming up for. Do you want to plug that thing again? That's happening in Newgrounds.
Oh yeah. No, the Newgrounds Pixel Day event is coming on January 23rd. On Sunday. The STD demo is releasing at 4:20 on the 23rd.
Attaboy.
4:20 p.m. EST.
Can't forget it.
Cool.
What else are you going to be doing?
That.
What else are you going to be doing at 4:20 on that day?
I don't know. It's nothing illegal, that's for sure. That is 100% for sure.
Well, it's still illegal over there?
Where I'm from, yeah, it is. It's illegal. It's no good.
What we like to do because it's a fun day is we like to get some of those little handheld like nitrous sprayers in case like some kids come around and they want some balloons filled up for the fun day.
Yeah.
And so we do that for them.
What are you suggesting?
Yeah, you just said that.
Levi, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Do you have any parting words you want to get out here before we move on to our next presenter? And we lost him.
I mean, we know he's saying something. He's a very passionate man. He was a very passionate presenter, and we really enjoyed it. So we know that right now, everyone can just imagine in their heads that Levi is there, and he's saying something very passionately to us. Okay. We cannot hear.
Let's give him a minute. As hilarious as it would be to go out, let's just give him a hot second to see if he comes back.
It wouldn't be Dirty Rectangles without some sort of technical difficulties.
This is great. We still got another presenter.
Dormitory internet.
No one go anywhere. More games to come.
That guy right there.
Not with Levi though. With Levi. Okay, folks, I think we're gonna take a little breaky break, and we'll be right back in just a minute with our next presenter. Don't go anywhere. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our next and also final presenter of the evening, the one and only Eric Billingsley. Boop, boop, boop.
Hello. Thank you.
We don't even need a whole cast here. Got me and James. All right, what's going on, Eric?
Not too much. I'm going to show off something a little different, which is a board game, which was pretty fun to do because I don't usually make board games. It's been a long time since I made any board games.
Board game? But this is the internet.
Yeah. So sometimes you wake up in the morning with an idea and you just want to see if it makes sense and if you can make it into a thing. And so that's what I did a couple weekends ago. And I made this game. I've got, let me,
We're going.
I made a little box for it out of cardstock.
Very nice.
Opens up like that.
It's fancy. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Pieces within pieces.
Hold on. There's a way to do this and flip everything over and get it out of the box.
trying to set up the prestige now.
Yeah. No, that's not right. Hold on. This. And then I can flip it over. And now we got these pieces. So all these triangle pieces, and so these are just like printer paper glued to cardstock, which is actually, I think, watercolor paper. But my first prototype, I made them out of just printer paper, and I tried to play, and then I breathed too hard, and they just flew everywhere. So this works a lot better. So it's played with a bunch of little triangles, and each triangle in this second prototype has 2 colors on it, or rather, here, 2 shades of gray. It's monochrome, and my printer is monochrome. And the way you play the game is by taking turns, placing tiles down, and you're trying to build the largest connected area of your color. And one player places black, one player places white. And grays count as wild, which is kind of what makes the game interesting. Like the gray tiles count as part of both colors.
Interesting.
And so there's 6 different types of pieces, and they sort of balance out. And anytime you play one piece, there's like an equivalent other piece that you also need to play, so that there's always the same balance of colors on the board. So it's a game about competing for territory and also maintaining balance. Yeah.
Interesting. I like it. The wild card, is that it could be either as you play it, or is it either when you're counting, no matter when? You know what I mean? Like, is it you play it and it becomes white, or it's always
No.
white and always black?
It's gray, but except for the purpose of scoring.
Got it.
So when you're placing tiles down, there's some rules about placing, and you have to, when you put two tiles next to each other, every time you put a tile down, you have to put it next to another tile, and at least one color has to match on that edge that you're placing it down. And for that, gray is not wild. Like, gray has to match with gray. So it's hard to explain things.
I think
I wrote out all the rules like in detail so that they're all clear, but I think that's the gist of it. So you take turns. Every time you play, on each turn you place two triangles, and they're kind of like, you pick one of three sets. They're in three sets of two things, and you play one of each, and you go back and forth until all of the triangles are gone, and the game's over.
Well, me and Derek are about to attempt to play this, and I'm very excited to play it because, let me tell you, I think that if the rules of a board game are difficult to explain, it means that game will actually be very fun, because I think that one of the major parts of games that is fun, the reason that we like playing them, is learning how to play them, like figuring out what you're actually supposed to do. That's actually a big part of the enjoyment of games. As you know, if you're a game designer or a fraud of a game design elixir of academic like me.
I am also looking forward to playing this game, but for an entirely different reason. I'm just very competitive.
Okay. I haven't. There's not that many rules, but I don't think I've explained sort of the intricacies of the placement rules. But we'll figure them out as we go, I guess. Or you can read them. They're in the sidebar. But the main thing to explain is when you're placing a tile down, say I'm placing these two tiles here. Like I mentioned, if two tiles are touching each other, one of the colors needs to line up at least. And you don't have to line them up like edge to edge. You can do it like halfway. So you can also do this.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's the sort of weird thing. So you can kind of do that to block off spaces, or.
But gray does have to match with gray, right?
Yeah, it does.
And then how are we keeping track of territory? I guess Derek is black and I'm white.
Yeah. Technically, James, you joined the game first, so you're black.
Oh, okay.
So
sorry, I was just making a guess.
You have a black cursor on the screen, so let's go with that.
Yeah, mine's white.
And so the way you count it up is, so you look at the board and you're trying to make the largest connected area of your color. So you just try to find the biggest one, so that's like a connected area that you're including your color in gray. And the colors connect across edges. They do not connect just across corners. Like, they need to be like one solid space. And then you just count the number of tiles in the territory.
And then I guess the other caveat is that you can't place more of the color that is already like in the majority on the board or something, in totality or something.
So the way it works is, if you look at the board on your screen, there's three stacks, or there's three groups of two stacks, right?
Yeah.
And each of these groups, if you count up like the actual like physical area of color on each one, like the colors within that group are balanced. So like just by placing, so whenever you play, you pick one of those groups, and then you play a tile from each of the stacks in that group. So just in doing that, the colors always stay balanced.
I think I get it. So you could basically place the other guy's colors sometimes if you can see a bad spot to place him, so that you're basically like wasting one of his tiles, because you both have access to like each other's tiles basically.
Yeah, and
we're both drawing from the same
You're
thing.
kind of forced to do that even if you don't want to, which is, I think, one of the things that makes the game interesting.
Derek's rubbing his hands. Now he knows there's a thing that he can do to be a jerk to me. This is like a second birthday for Derek.
This is just me playing chess, bombing my queen straight down. Let's go.
I'm gonna place. I'm gonna get this game going.
Okay, figure it out.
Yeah, you're
We're
black, so
falling
you go
into
first.
analysis paralysis,
Uh-huh.
mostly because we didn't know any of the rules, which I think is the one time where you're allowed to have analysis paralysis.
It's
Yeah, so
locked
you can
for me. Ooh, cool. So I guess because you got to make your move first.
I think I
no,
made it.
So the rules aren't. Okay, so James, you've placed that one triangle there, right?
Okay, yeah, here we
But
go. We're
you
good. We're good.
also need to place a second one.
Oh, I placed the second one.
You always play two at once, and you've chosen the left-hand group, so you have to play a triangle from the other stack in that group as well.
Oh, so you have to play the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
So I have to play this one. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And so there's six tiles in each stack.
Oh,
there's
what do I do to
36 of
rotate
them.
stuff?
You can press R or Shift R for clockwise, counterclockwise. But I don't think you can do it while you're holding the piece. Oh no.
Oh boy. There you go.
Okay,
there you go.
All right. Yeah.
You do have to click on it, but you have to not be holding down the button.
Right. You have to have it selected. Yeah. So I made this prototype in Screentop, which I think is pretty cool. I found out about it just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, what is this?
When people were talking about how mods from Tabletop Simulator were being transphobic and homophobic, and people were suggesting other platforms. And I just wanted to try this one out, and it is pretty. It was like it took me a few hours to put this together, so it was pretty nice to work with.
If you did it again, would you say that it was good to start with a paper prototype like you did and then move to this? Or could you have just made it in this and it would have been just as easy in terms of iteration time?
I think it's kind of a hard question because like with the paper stuff, I did end up wasting some paper and like it takes more time to cut it out and stuff. But I feel like it was still probably faster than doing this. And there's something to be said about like the physicality of actually playing with pieces.
Yeah, for sure. What's
because when I first was coming up with the rules, I didn't even think of the like half placing thing until I tried it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. I wonder if that works.
Derek's already beating me. I gotta make a comeback.
Yeah, I'll be the arbiter. Everything so far looks legal.
Hell yeah, it does. This is cool. I like this. This is fun. This is a let's sit down, shoot the shit, play a game, and just like you can take your time with it and like. Did you just really put that up there? Doesn't that just give me way more space?
No, you're white.
Yeah, but the gray doesn't the gray become white?
It becomes both. Like you're both connected to that group. I think right now.
Right. But my group
now, white is technically winning.
Do you get extra points? So the point system, is it am I trying to build a large pool or separate smaller pools? Like do I get extra points if I build like a large space? You know what I mean?
You're only counting the largest thing you build. So if you make multiple smaller ones, that's worthless.
Okay. Got it.
The last move that was played is not allowed.
Oh no.
Because you are touching you're touching the one tile with the same color, which is fine, but the other one,
the white.
Neither of the colors match. So at least one color needs to match.
I see.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, I didn't realize this wasn't in enforcing rules.
No, there's no rules in here at all. It's basically just here's all the pieces and.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I get it now.
So what was the last tile you placed?
This white one.
Okay.
No, you placed the gray and black one.
The gray one.
Underneath it.
Yeah,
oh
so
yeah. This is the one I have to place.
Yeah. So you have to place that one. Yeah. There's no rule enforcement at all in this. It's just you make the tiles and you put them on the board. I had to make the sort of the placement grid because at first I was like, oh, I'll just let you place them freely. But every time you pick it up, it animates it to grow, and so it's really hard to put stuff like pixel precise. So I had to. One cool thing about this platform is you kind of just like you drop assets for your cards, and then you like kind of just set up how all the pieces are shaped and stuff. But you can also use JavaScript to automate a bunch of stuff. So I was able to use that to place all the points on the grid so that everything lines up perfectly,
Cool.
and stuff like that.
Okay. Let's try.
Yeah, I'm still totally playing this by feel. By the way, I'm not like yeah. The ramifications of the mechanics seem still dizzying to me.
Yeah,
but I'm
that's
figuring it out.
in sort of like playtesting this myself. One thing I noticed is like it's kind of hard to logic about this game. Like there's a lot of possibilities, and one thing I'm trying to figure out still like is if you were actually like good at this game, would it be a deep game or would it be like a boring like tic-tac-toe game?
Yeah, like does it become deterministic or not?
Yeah,
But I
like,
think that's fun. I mean,
but
we're
nobody
only
is
going to
good at this
discover
game
that.
yet.
Those were
Yeah,
legal,
we're only
right?
going to discover that by somebody getting good at it.
That last piece also is not well placed.
Yeah, that's not doing anything, Dirk.
What do you mean?
It has to match
It has
one
to.
of the sides.
But
one
isn't
of
it
the
isn't it a
colors.
wild card? Doesn't it?
No.
Yeah, sorry. For the wild only counts for the scoring. It doesn't count for placing.
Yeah, it only counts for scoring.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So I have to do
So that
balls.
top part of
Okay.
that tile would have to be white. Yeah.
Shit. Okay. Yes. Then I'll just do this then. No. This.
I'll just place it over here.
Yeah. So I don't know like
Yeah.
what the best way to figure that out. But like from playing it a little bit, it feels like a fun game and it feels like a somewhat deep game. But I feel like the only way to actually figure out if it's like a deep strategic game is either to have at least two people get really good at it or to write an AI for it.
That can't be legal. What you just did
What do you
cannot
mean?
be legal.
That is legal.
But
It matches here for
It
black.
matches at least one
and it matches
color
gray
on
for
both
there.
tiles.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Derek thought he had this game planned out, but what he doesn't know is that me and Eric have actually played multiple games prior to this. This is all just a hustle. No, this is actually my first game as well, but it'd be funny if it wasn't. We should have done that.
Yeah,
Did
that's
you
why I
place
didn't
two?
want to do like, hey, who wants to play this game against me who already knows how to play it?
Is it my turn? Did you place two?
No, I have to place another
Okay.
one. Problem is I forget which one I have to place. It is. Oh no, I know.
You just
know.
put
Big
this
grid black.
one. Yeah,
It's always just whatever pile's the tallest.
That's not
next to
true,
the one
'cause-
that's lower. Oh yeah, that isn't true. Okay, forget that.
well, I guess the one that where they're not even.
Oh, Eric, I like this. This is cool.
Cool.
I can
I'm
see
glad
this
you're enjoying
sold
it.
in a toy store.
Nice. I tried making like a hexagon version.
Now
Did
that
not
one
work
he couldn't
as
do
well.
though, right? Because the gray and the black, or is it okay
that's okay, 'cause
because the
at
white
least
is
one
okay?
color.
At
The
least
white
one color.
matches, so that's
That's
fine.
what
Yeah.
that's. I think that's the rule that's tripping me up for some reason.
Yeah.
Um,
If they both have to match, it's just way too restrictive. Like in trying to figure out the rules, one thing I found is like it needs to be there's a balance there because if it's too restrictive, then it's way too easy to like cut people off,
right.
and you just end up building your own separate things. But
Yeah.
if it's too open, then it just ends up with one big group, and that's also.
It took me a second to understand that, but yeah,
Yeah.
each side has to have one color that matches. So you're doing it on like a
so
side by
that's-
side basis.
So that doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah,
That
because
because-
on your side
Each
that is
side.
facing diagonal
Okay.
down, it's not
you're
matching
touching a
anything.
tile that
Okay.
only has black there.
Okay. It's trickier as you first
I'm
done.
just gonna rotate all the tiles around to annoy people. You don't know what color it is.
Yeah, see, I set up those stacks to auto rotate them to the right orientation, but if you fuck them up, it doesn't like put them back right away. I think it'll put them back if you drag something back into the stack. I'm not sure.
Okay, I get this now. I think.
Derek's gonna beat me.
I
Trust
think
me.
that was legal. What I just did. Because the
Looks
two
legal.
white sides are the
Yeah,
same,
the
but
two whites
the
match.
black and the
Yep.
gray are different. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
But all it helped was me, because now I have a bigger block here to connect. If I can. Let's see if I do. No, that won't go.
Yeah, and I think it sort of has the potential to have moments where like one player's behind, but then manage to just to connect things up in a surprising way. And then
Oh no, we've created a
ahead.
gap here though. I guess that will never get filled now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's one of the strats, right? Is you want to lay it out in such a way that you're blocking other pieces from being laid down. That would help the person
Gap
at
them
all.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
gotta make some
if you have
weird
a side
shapes.
that collides with a point, that doesn't have to match, right?
No, it's only edges that need
Only
to match.
edges. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I placed this one, and so then, yeah, the other thing I would say is it would be nice if when you do your first place. Oh, but this doesn't enforce any rules. Never mind. I
Yeah.
was thinking,
No, if I was to actually program this as its own
it
thing,
would
Like a
have a
game
bunch of
game.
quality of
Yeah.
life things. Yeah.
yeah, which it really doesn't like right now. But
Yeah.
I guess if I ever wanted to write an AI for it, I would need to program the actual game rules in something.
There we go.
I tried playing it at first with Maria, and I was like, "Is this game good?" And then she was like, "You know that I hate these type of games, right?" So it was just not useful at all.
That's funny. Was that
Thanks.
sorry, James? Was that 2? Did you move 2?
Yeah, I did too.
Okay. No,
No, I
that's
think
not
it's
okay.
very
That's
cool.
not okay. I can't do that because the
other
white
side
and
doesn't
the
match.
black on the
Yeah.
left does not match.
Yeah.
Turning. Whoop.
Yep.
But this one. No, wait, no, that one. But this one. But I just want to make this thing huge. Okay.
This is very interesting because it's like we're playing a game that you've designed,
Ooh.
but you don't know whether it's like solved or not yet, and et cetera, et cetera. And so it's kind of
Yes!
interesting. Like it's almost like me
no.
and Derek. No, that
That's
doesn't
not
match
allowed.
anything.
What do you mean that's not allowed?
You only have one side connected, and neither part of it
Shit.
matches.
You're right. Okay.
It's a completely illegal move in every way.
You guys are assholes.
Yeah, if you turn it so the gray faced, then that would place. But I don't know if you want to do that.
No,
But yeah, you could do that
still
now.
wouldn't work.
Yeah.
on this.
That's okay, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's
You guys are fine with that one?
wonderful.
I'm totally fine with that one. No, it's sort of interesting. It's almost like me and Derek are like playing a game that you were prototyping, in like a video game sense. You know what I mean? Like you weren't.
Yeah.
done. You were trying to figure out, does this need more mechanics, or I don't know. Like we're almost basically playtesting, which is an interesting thing to think from a board game point of view. I don't know. That's maybe very mundane to people that are used to designing board games. They were screaming at me like, "Yeah, we playtest them. How'd
Alright,
you
your
think we
turn.
made them?"
Yeah, but they probably don't usually do it live on Twitch.
That's true. We got
I'm
them
having
there.
fun.
We've perverted their board gamery into this disgusting like video game
I'm
interpretation.
trying some uneven stacks here.
Oh, did someone go wrong?
I don't know. There's on the left hand one. I feel like there's 1 on top and 2 on the bottom.
Yeah, there is. Somebody went wrong. Oh, maybe Derek has to go again? I think
Yeah,
he only
Derek
went once.
has-
Was that me? No,
I
I
think
put 2 down. I put
No, you
got
this
place
guy
this
and
one.
this guy.
Oh.
I guess it's fine.
They're from the same stack. I blame James. I
Well,
put 2 down from the same stack.
We've got the tape. If we ever want to get to the bottom
Go
of,
to the
of this
tape.
mystery, we can go to the tapes.
Rewind
We
that.
can look it up
who went
later if
wrong.
we really want to, but we'll just keep
So
going.
whoever the winner of this is the one who didn't cheat.
Somebody
So we're
in
just
chat
kinda
go back
playing
and
for-
figure out who cheated.
We're kind of just playing
And make
for
sure it's
for
James.
bragging rights now.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun to do something like because that's not allowed
No,
because it's touching. So
yeah,
for
but it
each,
matches the black.
Yeah, but each tile it's touching needs to match at least one, and it's
Oh, each tile.
because you're doing the half placement thing. It's you're more
I
restricted.
thought it was sides. Okay.
So you could do that, but you would need to rotate the thing around so that the gray matches the gray. Like that, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I misunderstood. I thought just you needed one match per side, regardless of how many other pieces
that-
you were adjacent to.
The placement rules are definitely the most finicky thing about this game.
Well, they're very interesting because it's like either way of interpreting any, like any condition or whatever, it could be a valid game design choice to say one or the other way is the right way to do it. You know what I mean? So that's really like a big part of developing this.
Yeah, and like I'm not even sure if the rules I have now are like the most interesting they could be. Like maybe it'd be
best.
better to allow that, but I'm not sure.
All right, my turn, eh? There.
Trying to see if we lost that other piece somewhere accidentally.
Yeah, for the same reason that move is also bad.
My move?
Yeah, because you're the piece to your
Oh
right. You're
yeah.
not touching
Yep,
the
yep, yep. I
ground.
see it. I see it.
Yeah,
oh,
per
shit.
like,
yeah, so that one's
per-
basically locked down again then.
Per tile that you're touching, you have to have one matching color.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what if I do this? Okay, wait. Okay, wait. This isn't like card laid, card played, or that kind of shit, right?
Oh yeah, we were going by chess rules. I'm using my little time clock, aren't you?
If I do that. Okay. That's fine. Right?
Yeah.
And I these. Here we go. No wait, no, that's
Yeah,
gonna connect all of that.
That's actually fine.
Fine in theory.
It doesn't connect it because stuff only connects across edges, not corners.
But he could put a piece in there and get a
that's
big
true.
block going on. So let's just
Get it back
snake
open
this
again.
around over there.
That's correct.
There we go. Thinking strategy over here. I played a game or
you're
go
getting
once or two.
I can't win now because I need that missing piece.
I don't know what to do about that single.
Just block that.
My whole
off.
strategy.
Just forget that.
My whole strategy is based around placing that piece that is missing that I probably lost.
Yeah. Well, that's a piece for me. It's white. We'll just cancel out that row. We'll say it's toasted.
Say it doesn't count. Yeah.
So does that connect the point there? Is that
No.
considered one piece? No, those are two separate
No,
pieces.
and actually, I've just placed it entirely wrong as well. Sorry.
Oh yeah. But if you flip it one more time, that would work.
I don't know if that's the placement I want to make anymore. Hold on.
I think there was a question. Yeah, Ian Student. I worry the biggest risk in this game is equally good players having every piece count due to the abundance of gray spaces. Yeah, and so that's why I kind of like. I think that's what I was going for, like with the half placement and the fact that you can place colors, like two of your color to kind of wall things off. Like, hopefully, it seems like it's possible to actually completely wall stuff off sometimes. But with two equally good players, like it's hard for me to play against myself and figure out like what the optimal moves are. So it's possible that there's like either an optimal strategy or like every game ends up a tie because it's just one big mass of color. But
I think even if there were some type of optimal strategy, because clearly it would be like this is a game of a territory. There's actually almost more similarities to something like this in Go than other things, like because it's all just about like defining these territories and controlling that space. I would find the strategies would probably be similar, right? You're creating these islands and you're ballooning them out or whatever.
There's no like piece capturing, so it's maybe not quite as dynamic.
Yeah,
to me, it's kind of like if you combined Go and like Carcassonne or something.
Yeah. Sorry, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay. What I want to do.
I feel like we messed up in a bunch of places because look, now it looks like there's 4 of the middle bottom one, but only 3 on top.
Yeah, I think probably what happened is somebody grabbed from the wrong stack at one point. It's not that you didn't place 2, it's that you placed 2 that didn't match. So we can just, whoever goes last can place the last 2 remaining pieces.
It's me. There.
Do you find the tactile nature of rotating the tiles in your fingers versus the keyboard makes the game more enjoyable in person versus online? Yeah, I think
Spread these.
especially having to like press R a bunch of times to rotate it to the right angle is finicky. So
It doesn't
like
work there.
it's nice to
Oh no,
be
that
able
doesn't
to.
work.
Yeah, that's wrong. Like to actually spin the pieces around with your fingers feels way more natural. And it's also like playing on a physical surface is cool because you're kind of creating this cool looking sort of artwork in front of you as you play, and that's another nicer aspect of the physical play. The actual pieces I made are not that great to handle because they're very thin. So if I was to like make a second or a third prototype, I guess I would want to find a better material for the pieces.
The nicest one would be Clearlight to make it out of wood, but that would be the most expensive and the hardest to do.
Wood.
But you can get board games printed up from a website. My friend Louis Desbois used it for a couple of his games, I think. He makes board games. And yeah, it's basically just sort of like a Printful type site,
Cool.
that kind of deal. And you can just send in your pieces and get them made based on your specifications. So I think if you got these made with like a decent cardboard, that would probably be pretty nice to play with.
Yeah, that would be something to explore. Either that or going the DIY route. I've seen some people like on forums making pieces out of like vinyl floor tile or like chipboard that they cut with like a pizza cutter type thing.
What about magnets? How expensive do you want these to be?
Yeah, just so they lock in perfectly.
Yeah, that'd be so
tiny
cool.
magnets on the side of each piece.
My kid has these little plastic triangle things that are like this, and they have a series of magnets all around them, so you can set them up in like a weird, basically like this. And they hold the position, right? Wonder how expensive that would be. Is it my turn again?
Am I able to place into here? No, I'm still placing my last one. Am I able to place into here?
Yeah, place that one. That one's great.
Sorry, let me get the game open again. Where are you trying to place?
Oh, like into the zone where the stuff is?
Actually, you can't because... Oh, no, you could. Yeah, there are ways to do that. I was going to say there's 3 colors, but you only need to match one of them on each tile, so you could definitely do that. And I'm trying to figure out if it would be advantageous for either player to do it.
All right, that's my turn.
It's hard, thinking about this more, it's almost hard. It's hard to build out those islands in a way because of the gray pieces. There is always going to be that spillover. Like it's really hard to make a hard border. There's always going to be this like give and take, right?
Yeah, you can sort of like, if you use one of your pieces that has like 2 of your color, you can kind of use that to wall things off, but there's always the possibility that they could go around or...
Yeah, and that gets harder as the game goes on in a way. Like you have to fortify early, otherwise, because then you're like, where am I going to put the piece? Because I have to look for a place where I can match it up.
Yeah, I think the other interesting thing that I haven't gotten to play around with too much is like the end game, because then you start to have not all of the stacks, and so you're even more restricted in what you can place. It's a little screwed up here because of the lone piece, but.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it was fun to do something completely different from what I've been working on lately. It felt like this is a hobby thing instead of a work thing, which was nice.
It's always fun.
Like, there's no way I'm going to make money off this game, and I know that. This is not like a productive use of my time in order to further my career. It's like I want to make this cool idea happen.
I think we're in the final couple turns here. Oh, I see the culprit. The second pile has an extra 1 on the bottom there, I think. Oh,
yeah. So somebody must have grabbed.
Yeah.
From the wrong pile.
It's fun. This is a nice way to spend the evening. I'm enjoying this. We only had 2 percentages. We stretched this out to a whole dang show. Good job, everybody.
Yeah.
That's my move.
All right, here we go.
Nice, chill, low-key, dirty rectangles.
Here we go.
For
Okay.
board games.
Okay.
And when I prototype pieces, I sometimes print them out and tape them along the edges to thin cardboard. Yeah, that's basically what I did here. Well, I used a glue stick, but it's basically just printed them out, glued them to some cardstock, but it was like, and then cut them with scissors. But I think for this game, you'd want like some, at least like 4 or 5 millimeters thick pieces. He says VAR has determined it was James.
You can't place that.
It was
there,
James?
'cause
Why can't I place this?
That last one you placed, you can't place there because the white doesn't match the gray.
But the white matches it here.
Yeah, but you have to match both tiles that you're touching.
I thought you only need 1 per side.
One per tile.
1 per tile per side?
Yeah.
Guys.
Really just 1 per tile.
I already
That's too
busted
many
James
layers. That's
Ball's
too many
corners
layers.
earlier.
We've gone too deep. Okay.
That's a rule that maybe
I'll put
I don't
that
know, maybe
there
that rule
then, I
should be
guess.
changed.
That's kind of a weird one.
Since it confused both of you, maybe it should be changed.
No, we just needed to figure that
I mean,
out.
I get it
I think
now.
it's just because you originally explained it as once per side, but really it's once per tile.
Once per
Yeah.
side is an easy construct to put in my mind.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at my piece and I'm looking at its sides in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good feedback. So
Um,
I think I would want to try playing it the other way and see if it really changes the game much.
I don't know. But I think those are my
I think you're right. I think that's easier to reason about. It's the
So-
same reason that I made
is
it
it my turn now?
the counting rules just
Yeah.
be per tile because
Yeah, it
it's
has to
a lot easier than counting like the total.
The
area
cool
or
thing about
whatever.
a change like that is it's much easier to implement in a board game than in a digital game.
Yeah.
Because God fuck, can imagine actually having to do that in a digital game. And like, okay, now I need to parse through multiple tiles at once and see if, yeah. Okay, what are we gonna do with that last piece? Now I'm concerned because it's a piece that will benefit me no matter where it goes.
There, I placed. So now you just placed the 2 remaining ones.
All right.
I've screwed up the
That's
game.
true.
but
You
we'll
that
just
was
play it.
yours. So these are my pieces. Okay. Where can they do the most damage? James, look at this cool little shape that we made. It's actually turned into something. It kind of looks like a guy that's like skanking, or maybe he's like throwing up a basketball
Yeah, it's
or
like
something.
it's like a cat, and here's one of his eyes, here's the other one.
Okay.
and then here's
Yeah,
his
yeah,
mouth,
Oh yeah.
And then he's kind of doing like he's kind of leaning forward and doing kind of like a jaunty walk.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, you know what he's doing? He's frigging what's the name of that anime with the ninjas? He's Naruto running.
The anime with the ninjas. But yes, yeah, he could be Naruto running.
I guess I could have meant Ninja Scroll also, but
Okay.
I didn't. I meant Naruto. The only other anime about ninjas
Let's just get some
Last
points.
move of the game.
that they ever made.
I got to put these into the big pool. It doesn't really matter where they go as long as they are attached to the monster points that I'm getting here. Let's just drop you right over
Yeah,
here.
and try not to attach them to James's points.
I think the
Yeah.
sportsmanly thing to do would be to just make the picture look as cool as possible, Derek, rather than trying to beat me.
That's fair. Right now I'm battling the pixels here. Pixels
Right now you're battling the weird zoom out and drop
There we go.
thing.
Yeah,
So that's one.
Yeah.
That's kind of like helps his foot over there, and then maybe we can accentuate one of these cat ears. I don't know if that helps the picture at all.
It doesn't help your points.
It also doesn't help my points. Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
I think that muddies it a little bit.
James, stop distracting me. I'm trying to beat you here.
Look, I deserve it. I played out of turn. I've already ruined the game. We could have had a very, very
what?
good
Fuck
play
your-
testing here,
fuck your
but
cat.
instead I totally messed it up.
I don't think so. I think it's okay.
Okay.
All right, the game
we
is
do it?
over. Yeah.
We did it. Success.
Counting is annoying in this game. That's one thing.
Tessellate.
We'll let you do it. This is your game. Tell us who
All
won.
right. All right.
We did the hard part, the playing of the game. Now you can do the fun part, the methodical tallying of the
I'm
points.
pretty sure Derek won, but I'll count them up to be sure.
The part that the computer would usually do for you in a video game.
It could be close, to be honest. It's kind of hard to tell because the grays, you really got to get in there and count it.
Yeah, I think I already screwed it up. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna count black first.
We need to crowdsource this. Everybody in chat.
Does each
Do your own
triangle
tally.
count as one, or the ones that have like 2 triangles on the bottom? Is that 1 score or 2 scores?
Yeah, I think Derek has 23 points. So
Giving you questions while you
each
count.
each tile is 1 because it's just easier to count.
Okay.
I think like it really, maybe the other way would make more sense. I think it'd just be more annoying to count it, and I don't think it's usually going to change the outcome.
Interesting. So then that really
Josiah wants
does
to.
it really does reinforce the 2-sided piece as a blocker. Then, if you're not getting extra points for it, its goal is to block the person.
Yeah. So yeah, Derek, you won. James got like 23, 24, and Derek is over 30, I think. So.
Also, I cheated.
Yeah, you did it.
Also, you cheated.
Yeah. One thing I haven't figured out yet is if there's like a first move advantage in this game, or a last move advantage, because whoever plays first doesn't get to go last.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. So that's Tessellate.
Josiah is already saying in the Discord he wants to play against you, Eric. He wants to play against the Master.
Let's. I have played several games of this against myself, so
Cool.
I don't know if that makes me a master, but I will. I'll take you up on that at some point.
So okay, we're
not going to do it on stream right now because the one game took long enough.
Yeah. You okay? So you made this over the weekend. What's up? Can people play that online? Is that like public? What you just showed us?
Yeah, it is. I think it had to be
linked
public
it in
order to be playable by other people.
I linked it in the chat, but I don't know if that worked or not.
Yeah, anybody can play it. I haven't tweeted about it or anything, but maybe I will.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
You just have to know the rules. It was fun.
Does that board game not a board game like that not exist?
So I kind of did some research after to see there's a. And let's see if I can find this game. There's a game that's kind of similar, but like in concept, but like pretty different mechanically. Where like it's like with hex tiles and each one is the same, and you're trying to make like a looping shape or something. But like and you're also playing 2 tiles at once, so there's like a lot of similarities. But I couldn't find anything like that close to it.
I like the duality of having to play the 2 tiles and then being opposite tiles. So it's like you're not just going for that one thing that's going to benefit you. You have to deal with the other side of it, right?
Yeah, I think like forcing the player to make interesting decision like that makes the game kind of like more hard to play, but also more interesting.
Yeah. And you could play with 3 people, right? Because then you just turn the gray into a player, right? Couldn't you do that? Since they're all evenly split?
I'm not sure how that would go, but it might just work fine. Yeah.
Definitely be a very different game.
Yep.
But that's interesting because you have almost 2 modes there that have very different strategies.
Yeah.
I think with the 2 players, what people found was that the way that I was playing it was pretty dumb, which is that you probably want to make sure all your pieces are sort of attaching onto that gray blob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably your best bet, which I was just playing to see what happened.
Yeah.
But it's like, that probably makes sense. Whereas when you have 3 players, now you're kind of like trying to determine which of the 2 people you're playing against is currently weakest, and then do something to benefit them rather than the other guy.
Yeah.
While also trying to get your own points.
I think that the gray piece and that back and forth is part of what makes it really interesting, and in having to share territory in some way, and then it's less about like. It's interesting. You could play it a couple of ways, right? You can lean into the aggression and like I'm gonna block everything off, or you just like let it ride and be like, cool, let's just throw down these gray pieces and enjoy this game together and see if we can end up scoring around the same, because that could also be kind of fun, right? It's like a different way of playing the game. even.
Yeah, you can kind of play it like when I tried to play it against myself, sometimes I would end up mostly kind of building separate stuff, or like it would mostly be one mass with little things coming off of it, or the whole game is like one player trying to connect up and the other person trying to block them.
Interesting.
And there's a lot of different dynamics that can come out of it.
I wonder if there's a one-player version of the game where you're trying to build harmony between the colors. You know what I mean? And like maybe there's some type of randomness to the tiles or whatever you want to do to so you're not just picking the same tiles every time and building the same design, but like something sort of like, oh, where am I going to put this piece in order to create this?
Yeah, that would be cool to come up with, because like a lot of this game also is like the aesthetics. Like there's a purposeful like symmetry in the way that pieces are colored and the way they fit together, and like.
No, I think there's a real beauty to the simplicity of it,
honestly.
both in design and overall mechanics. Like just that kind of idea of if you have this kind of neutral middle territory, then you are kind of strengthened by making sure that you're always interconnected to it. Whereas if you have 3 separate opponents all trying to win, now your strategy changes. I think that's actually very interesting.
Yeah.
Is this a game about socialism?
It's a game about dialectical what is it? Dialectical materialism or whatever. Like,
yeah, that's exactly.
2 contradictions of white and black, of fighting each other forever.
Very
forwards through history.
The interpretation is up to the player.
Eric, thank you so much for showing this.
Keeping balance.
So cool. So things are in the chat, I think, for where people can check this out. Also, they can follow you on Twitter. I had your name up there for a good while there. Anything you want to close it on?
Sure. Yeah, if you have an idea that you want to quickly make into something and you have the time to do it, you should do it because it's a lot of fun and it's a nice change of pace.
Oh, what was that tool again that you used to actually do the thing online?
It's screentop.gg.
What was it like working with that? Is that just like
it's really nice. You can't program rules into it. You basically just are setting up the pieces and the board. But it's pretty good. Like it was really fast to get running. You just put your art in there and you can like tell it how the pieces are shaped and how they can rotate. And like you can make containers for them and put those into there. You can set everything up with like templates and then make variants on them.
It's like you
can use code to like do mass or bulk operations. What do you call it? Batch stuff. You can use JavaScript to do that, which helps out.
It was like a tabletop sim, but just a little bit more bare bones, I guess, or simple or something.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but without the tabletop simulator is more like about, I guess, having people be in like this virtual space and everything's like physically simulated and stuff. But it's like a sort of like a 2D stripped down version of that, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Check it out. It's really good for prototyping, and it's really easy to, once you have your prototype, to just like invite people and have them try it out, like we just did, which was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It's very useful in the times that we are currently in, where you feel nervous about seeing people in real life.
And you know what? Testament to your game that we were able to pick that up real quick. We were setting this up and we were like, do you want to just go live and figure this out live? And we did. And it was
great. Thanks so much for playing.
Yeah, that was rad as fuck.
Fun to watch people play.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our January Dirty Rectangles Online. We will be back next month, February. Currently, that's the month that comes after January, with some more fine presenters. If you want to be on this show, hey, you can reach out to us, twitter.com/Dirty Rectangles or twitter.com/rectangles_TO for the Toronto crew, or you can hop on our Discord, dirty-rectangles.com/Discord. You can get on there, /merch. You could buy some stuff and we'll do something with that money. Probably not. We don't make anything off of the merch. We just want you to wear our stuff. Which is cool. Also, Dorita's in the chat for Eric here. Yeah. For his amazing game, and to Levi for his awesome chat and presentation earlier. You got a game? Come show it off. All that good stuff. Any final words from anyone else here?
yeah, if you have anything you want to show off, send a message to Dirty Rectangles _TO or Dirty Rectangles on Twitter, or come on Discord, and we have a channel that you can post your work in progress stuff in and say you want to show.
We also have a channel in the Discord just for sharing music. You want to come out and listen to some tunes.
Yeah.
We're always looking for people, so if you're interested, please contact us, because otherwise people like me will be going out there to find you,
you don't
badger
want,
you,
you don't want
and
digital
tell you
James
to present,
track
tell
you
you
down.
you don't get a choice. You gotta come on the show.
Just knocking on your DMs.
With
Get
an
in the
angry
show.
yell.
All right, folks, we're out of here. Thanks for joining in. We'll see you next month. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.